Good morning. Thank you all for joining me this morning for this very special time together. That's this beautiful room and our spiritual home here. I've just been giving myself the opportunity to drink in what a wonderful place it is and what wonderful things we do here. So, with that being said, let's close our eyes and take a good breath together. And know with me, without a shadow of a doubt, the wonderful spirit of life makes no mistakes in whom is inhabiting planet Earth at this wonderful time. Each of its life forms, and especially humankind, so gifted to realize that there is great purpose in growing together, in loving together, and healing together. Each day an opportunity to be made better than ever before. Wiser, hearts more safe, minds calmed, and bodies responding with great health and intelligence and purpose and wonderful, beautiful healing energy. So I know for every person within the sound of my voice that there is a taking in of each one's right to divine companionship, education, healing, and most of all, loving and nurturing all life. Especially one's own life. There is no person sent that has not been given the right to live out a great purpose, to live expanded safety, curiosity, knowing, seeking, finding, no thing too great to be healed, made new again. Whole and reverent. And further, I know that in the silence, with each one's willingness to lie open and be together here at your homes or in this sanctuary, it is a network of covering that is etheric and available for healing of any condition any pain, any strife, and a huge, huge energy for carrying light, love, dance, reaching out to one another, supporting, connecting, loving, growing in love, growing in knowledge of all kinds. And we are so, so blessed for the privilege and the freedom to be right here where we are now. Knowing that there is nothing too great for the one that sent us to make wholeness be returned over and over again. So I invite each one of us in this room to feel the wonder of the anchoring of our feet through the floor and the depths of the earth, keeping us sure and steady, willing, recommitting to all kinds of good things that may assist humankind all around us, all the animal world, all the plant world, all the living things that make life on earth so glorious, teeming toward especially minds that are open and willing to seek higher ideas. So I know that we can go into the silence together, and that makes even a little more room to be sure that each one's anchored in their own chair and receiving so much love and so much care and so much of the answers that we seek. Will return in moments and enjoy the atmosphere that we have created already together, a welcoming energy to anyone who is steered here today. So we share the silence beautifully together. I think that our willingness to be here in prayer has filled this room already to a palpable support that every person who enters is so subtly connected to all that there is. Every answer on anybody's heart, mind, or soul comes so easily when we know together that we are supported by the one that sent us. So I thank for my part this morning, and I know that we have a wonderful learning day together and a happy, happy gathering and a healing gathering, all essential to the wonderful upliftment of humankind that can spread around the globe. What an awesome, awesome privilege to be living this life at this vital time. Thank you, God. And so it is.
Feliz Navidad, feliz Navidad, feliz Navidad, próspero año y felicidad. Feliz Navidad, sing it with me. Feliz Navidad, feliz Navidad, próspero año y felicidad. Próspero año y felicidad. I can't hear you. Feliz Navidad. Louder. Feliz Navidad. Feliz. Come on. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart.
Yahoo! Hi, everybody. How are ya? It's wonderful to see everybody here. Thanks for showing up this morning. Hello to our Love Stream people as well. It's wonderful to know that you're here and part of our community. So, if there is anybody who is new to the center, I guess I should probably introduce myself. I'm Pat Campbell. Yeah. You're what we call an old timer. I'll introduce myself. I'm Pat Campbell, and I am the spiritual director of the Center for Spiritual Living. And if you haven't been here before, one thing you need to know is even though we're doing traditional like Christmas pop music, we honor all faiths. We honor all paths to understanding, because there can't be just one way to be, one way to live, one way to believe. On a planet of 8 billion people, and you got to figure that we're the teeniest, tiniest little planet on the teeniest, tiniest little galaxy in a far, far backwater of the universe. Even our sun is like considered like a mini star. Okay? So, with that, don't you feel empowered now? But with that in mind, there cannot be just one way to believe. And so wherever you are on your path, however you got here, wherever you're going from here, you're absolutely welcome. We're so glad that you're here. If indeed this is your first time, we've got a welcome table in the lobby that you can go visit after service, get a little bit more information about the center, talk to some people, have a cup of coffee, and just know that you're absolutely welcome here. We're so glad you chose to spend your day with us today. So we're in the kind of the holiday mood, so we are going to sing holiday music today. Yes? Okay. So, but because we're in Calgary, and because a week ago this song would have been absolutely true, now it's not true anymore. So instead of I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas, we're going to be singing I'm Dreaming of a Soggy Christmas. So let's stand up and sing together.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas with every Christmas dawn arrive. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas with every Christmas dawn arrive. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be
I love it. Thank you for the little extra. Okay, so because it's the holiday season, we have a lot of stuff that's going on, so I want to keep you apprised of that. And as you know, we kind of take care of the business part, announcements and all that stuff, so that when we do go into our sacred space, we're able to stay there and not come out to be thinking, oh, what date was that and all that. And everything I tell you is always on the website and in the newsletter. And if you want to sign up for the newsletter, you can do that on the website. So it's kind of easy that way. Okay, so our community potluck and Amy Bishop concert is next Sunday. Yay! Okay, that was not quite the enthusiastic expression that I thought was going to happen. First of all, we're going to have a potluck after the service, and so you can sign up with Darla in the back and bring whatever it is that you want to bring. It's just our time of coming together, breaking bread together. And then at 1:30, Amy is going to do her PG-rated PG-rated Christmas show. She's very naughty. I don't know if y'all know that, but it's true. And she's also very funny. I don't know if all you know that's true. So not only are you going to hear wonderful Christmas music, you're being very suspiciously quiet. Are you making faces behind me?
I'm being very respectful.
Okay. But anyway, come to the... I was going to say you're upstaging, but you're actually downstaging me. Anyway, come to that. The tickets are only $25. You can get them here if you have cash, or you can go on the website. You can call the office. However, you are send an e-transfer for the $25. And we're going to have a swinging good time. That's next Sunday right after service. And then on... Can you advance the slide, please? Or maybe not. Okay, thank you. So then on December 22nd is our kind of our holiday celebration special. And the ministers and the practitioners are going to be putting that on. And you know, they're such sacred thinking people. Didn't quite know how to put that. They are such sacred thinking people that you know that what they are going to be sharing and what you're going to be experiencing is something that is going to fill your heart. It is so wonderful what they do. They're going to have beautiful music and special rituals and stuff. So that is going to be our holiday celebration on Sunday, December 22nd. And they're asking that you bring sweet and salty munchies because we're having a potluck the week before. So we're going to have a sweet and salty potluck the week after that. Why do you keep smiling at me?
Well, I do have something to add to this, if that's okay.
Yes, it is.
My son, Aaron, is going to sing with me that day.
Really? Yeah. Can I fly back from St. George, Utah just for that?
You should.
Okay. Oh, wow. Wonderful. Amy tells me, and I have no reason to doubt, that he is actually a very fine singer. And so, probably his debut or close to his debut as a teenager and stuff, that's going to be wonderful. Thank you for letting us know. So that's going to take place on the 22nd. And then the World Peace Meditation. This is something that I've been doing my entire life in this teaching. It always happens on the last day of the year, December 31st, not January 1st. People get mixed up and they show up here after partying all night and they're like, where's the meditation? Well, it was yesterday. So December 31st at, yes, it's true, 5 o'clock in the morning, 5 a.m., people of New Thought have been coming together every day on the last day of the year at the same time to pray and meditate for peace. And boy, do we need it now, hey? Yeah, it's really, really important now. And the reason why it's 5 a.m. is because it's at noon Greenwich Mean Time in England. So counting that back, it makes it 5 a.m. for us. When Heather and I were in California, it was 4 a.m. Why even go to bed, right? We used to have slumber parties, and then we'd get up for the 5 o'clock peace meditation. But it is a wonderful, heart-opening time and really ends the year beautifully and starts the year intentionally. So I hope to see a lot of people there. And I think I'm finished with that. Our online groups, the Saging Circle for our seniors, that's Saturdays at 10 a.m. Consciousness Seekers, Mondays at 6:30 with Ron Hahn. And Coffee with Dr. Pat, that's with me every Wednesday at noon. We've been going. We're going to take our first Wednesday off for Christmas. Nobody wanted to do it. I was like, fine, I guess we won't show up. But I will be here for November 1st. So anyway, Coffee with Dr. Pat, that's on Zoom, all that information, newsletter
Will you be here
and
January
website.
1st as well?
What did I say?
November.
So Sandra, I will be joining the Sagers group from now on. I never thought I was quite there, but apparently I am. So, just kidding, just totally kidding. Okay, where am I doing? Okay, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to invite the ministers and practitioners to come forward if you're in the house, please. Reverend Val, Reverend Darlene, Dr. Heather, Reverend Marjorie, Reverend Doug, Reverend Monica, Reverend Leslie, and our practitioners, Amy, Connie, Pelly, Ron, Valda, Sabrina, Tracy, Lance, Gail, Fran, and Lucille. Thank you all for being here. Amy is going to lead us in a chant, and Darlene is going to give us our opening treatment.
I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am. I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am. I am.
And so I ask that you join me, and if it helps to close your eyes to the outer distractions and the thoughts and anything going on that's not contributing to the quiet and the peace and the answers we want to hear so clearly today together. So we're comfortable in this place, in this time. And I have huge expectancy of God showing up through every person who is here, that they hear from all aspects of their wonderful human being. A listening of the heart, the ears, the wonderful body, cell memory even, that I'm going to take home the good, I'm going to start my life anew and make it better than ever before, and take part in a world that certainly needs everyone, opening to the fact that we can all be guided by the one that sent us and receive any answer to any question in a nanosecond. So we're here together today, and we hear answers, and we connect with people at a heart level and make new friends and welcome a brand new life coming into a wonderful new year that's going to blossom very soon. I thank for this morning, and I release these words back to the one that acts through them and through every person here. We get our answers we came for, and it is a wonderful day. And so it is.
I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am. I am.
Thank you, Amy, for the chant, Amy and Anna. And thank you, my beloved ministers and practitioners, my support team. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being here for our congregation. I know several of you have shared with me that maybe things could be a little different in your life. And I encourage you to see one of these ministers or practitioners. They hang out there in the back of the sanctuary, and have them do not a full treatment session, but what can I know for you? What truth, what spiritual truth can I know for you? And they are here, and they are longing to be in service for you and with you. So please avail yourself of that. And thank you, darlings. Thank you. So I said we had Christmas music or holiday music today, and I'm so happy that Amy is going to be doing a song from your Bells album, isn't it? All right. I know. Please, Amy Bishop and Elevation. Whoop.
I don't care if the house is packed or the strings of light are broken. I don't care if the gifts are wrapped or there's nothing here to open. Love is not a toy, and no paper can conceal it. Love is simply joy that I am home. I don't care if the carpet is stained, we've got food upon the table. I don't care if it's gonna rain, our little room is warm and stable. Love is who we are, and no season can contain it. Love would never fall for that. We sing, ooh, ooh, let love lead us. Love is Christmas. Why so scared that we'll mess it up when perfection keeps you haunted? All we need is your best, my love. It's all anyone ever wanted. Love is how we do, and no judgment overrules it. Love, I look to you and I sing. Love is Christmas. Let love lead us. Love is Christmas.
So pretty. Woo! Elevation. Amy Bishop Oliver on sax, Anna on keys, Luis on drums, and Lisa on bass. How blessed are we with our musicians? Give it up for them. And Oliver, if you can bring that, it's under a bunch of stuff there. Thank you, darling. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Thank you. How wonderful were Reverend Marjorie and Dr. Heather last week? It was really an impactful talk for me, and I bet for you all as well. So would you breathe with me, please? And again. And once more at your own pace. If you've been coming here for the past couple of weeks, several weeks, you know that we've been kind of working our way through the wisdom that a lot of us learned from taking a course called Money Mastery. There was a group of about 15 of us who took the course. And I didn't originally plan to have the recap of it go all the way to December, but it just gives you an idea of how rich the experience was and how rich the course was. So just as a refresher, so that we're all on the same page, I just wanted to give you a list of some of the gems, some of the nuggets that we talked about. There is good for me, and I ought to have it. This is stating our place in the universe, that we are allowed, that we are intended to have good that takes place for us. Saying, oh, holy night, oh, holy hell no. We say that to our limiting beliefs when they pop up, because you know that they do. And instead of making something happen, we make it welcome. Isn't that a much nicer way of putting it? I love it. We also learned to look up, because when we look up, when we expand our vision, when we expand our perspective, we see so much more than if we're looking down. And we actually experimented with that, didn't we? Here, let's do that. Everybody, think about something that you'd like to have different in your life and look down and feel it. Okay. And now look neutral, just look straight ahead. And notice that it's kind of dissipating, whatever that concern that you might be having. And now look up. And just from that very simple shift of the eyes, you can see, you can feel that just has literally dissipated, because we are seeing with a higher perspective. Yeah. We also learn to be totally committed to the life that you want to live with no attachment. Now, we can all say that we're committed to the life we want to live, but we can't all say that we're not attached to the outcome, can we? Because it's that attachment that keeps things from moving forward. Sometimes you have to be fully committed and let it go. And we also learned that the most important words that we can know are as and is. This comes from Joel Goldsmith. In other words, God as me, not God through me, not God for me, but God as me is love. God as me is health. Do you hear the difference? It's not God doing something for us, but God, because we are part of it, doing it as us. And we also took a look a couple of weeks ago at a couple of old-fashioned words, hope and tithe. After all, it was a money mastery class, so you know I was going to have to talk about that, right? But we gave them, by looking at them from our 21st century perspective, we were able to give it a little bit more relevance, a little bit more in today's language. And my original plan had been to cover a third word that Sunday. I called it 3 old-fashioned words. But I realized that the particular word that I was going to use deserved its own time slot. And today is the time slot. So who would like to take a guess at what the word is? Richard? Yeah, for 3 weeks, he's saying to me, what's the word? What's the word? Okay, I'm about to tell you, so drum roll, please. The word is grace. Ooh, it seems appropriate, doesn't it? For coming up on the holidays, doesn't it? Now, I have to admit to you that grace, especially in the day, was just not a word that I used a lot. Prior to a newer understanding of that word, it had a connotation to me of traditional Christianity and the guy up in the sky that was granting blessings to some and not to others. And it's a little too sweet for me. You know what I mean? It's a little like, gossamer angel wings and little girls in tutus. I like my spirituality grounded, I like it juicy. I want it real and raw. So grace was not cutting it for me. However, when I started teaching the new foundations class that came out a few years ago, the curriculum spent an entire class night on grace. And what I found by going through that is that grace isn't at all ethereal or gossamer or tutu wearing. Grace is real, and it's God in action. So one of the things that we do in the foundations class is I'm not going to test you on this. Trust me, is to make what we call a mind map. So we put the word grace in the middle, and then we just called out all the different ways that grace show up in our life as love, as patience, as living in the now, as contentment and guidance and light, and I can hardly see them. Okay, and there's sweetness. Okay, well, yeah, that's what I thought. Open-heartedness, all of this. So when the students kind of got going about what grace actually means, and not this thing that we can't quite put our finger on, we came up with all kinds of different ways that grace is God in action. Now, the thing to realize about grace, however, or as Dr. Holmes calls it, the divine givingness of the universe, is that grace is always available. Grace is always available. That energy of grace surrounds us, and it waits for an opening to come in and bring its blessing. As Ramakrishna said, the winds of God's grace are always blowing. It is for us to raise our sails. I'm going to say that one again because that speaks to me. The winds of God's grace are always blowing. It is up for us to raise our sails. So if you think about it, we are literally walking in grace every moment of every day. It surrounds us. And it's ready to come into realization when we are open for it to happen. But it has a heck of a time coming in and working in our lives if we're closed. It has a heck of a time coming in if our predominant thoughts are counteracting it, like negativity and hatred and guilt and envy and resentment. However, the beauty is even if there is the smallest, tiniest little opening in our awareness, in our consciousness, grace finds a way. And I'm going to tell you some stories in just a moment. But I wanted to share with you this Goldsmith quote. He wrote, grace is not something that is given to us or withheld from us. Grace is a state of being which comes into active expression the moment consciousness has been purified, just as the law of gravity comes into operation when an object is dropped. It's just waiting. It's just waiting. He goes on to say, divine grace is forever present in our consciousness, but it cannot operate. That is, it cannot manifest or express in the presence of fear or hate. Right? So he talks about purifying our thoughts, another word that triggers me a little bit. Ew, purification, all that other stuff. However, there are ways that we are consciously purifying our thoughts, which allows us to be open to grace. Every time we recognize that grace is everywhere, that God is everywhere. When we look at it in the little things that show up in our life and think, that's grace. Letting go of all those things that oppose it. In other words, make grace welcome. And being open to his presence, even when it doesn't look like we think it should. Oh, that can't possibly be grace because it wasn't brought with gossamer angel wings and little girls in tutus, so it can't possibly be grace. So the reason I'm talking about it today is because the teacher of the Money Mastery course that we took, her name is Kathy Ann Lewis, and she's the spiritual director of the center in Seattle. And she talked about grace a lot in the class, but in a slightly different way, and it caught my attention. She talked about dissolving grace. Dissolving grace. Let me tell you what I mean. A mystical process by which the power of grace dissolves something that is keeping us stuck. Dissolving grace is a mystical process by which the power of grace dissolves something that is keeping us stuck. So if we have something that is going on or where we're feeling overwhelmed or we're experiencing a problem and we can't see our way out of it, we can be open to grace dissolving anything unlike our desire, whatever it might be. We can look forward to that. And I have stories for you. I love how the universe works. So I've known for a couple of weeks, ever since I wasn't able to fit grace into the hope and tithing talk, I knew for a couple of weeks that I was going to be talking about this today. But what's interesting is that, Sunday comes along, and then this past Monday comes along, and in that period of time, I heard several stories from people who have experienced the gift of dissolving grace. It's been uncanny. So I have permission to share these stories from the perspective of dissolving grace, even if the people who were telling me the story didn't experience it as such. They're open to me sharing the story. So the first one is the story that Reverend Marjorie shared in her wonderful talk with Dr. Heather last week. And they were discussing the idea that change doesn't always have to take a long time, that things can indeed shift immediately. I mean, we teach that you have to build consciousness and then eventually something happens, but there are times when grace comes in that something can be healed or shifted immediately. So Reverend Marjorie shared a very touching story about dealing with some resentments against her father, who had been an alcoholic. And she'd done a lot of work and healed a number of the resentments, but there were still some residual hurts that hadn't gone away. She said she went to a Father's Day service at the center, a little reluctant because, there was still some leftover dad stuff. She shared that she cried the whole way through, like really experienced it. It's those feelings and those emotions. And then she said at the end of the service, all the sadness, all the anger, all the grief that she had been carrying around about her father just lifted, never to return. Whatever had been dissolved by grace. Thank you for letting me share that story again. So the very next day, so that was last Sunday, the very next day, I heard a story from Kathy Matthews, who's watching on the Love Stream today. Kathy is one of our advanced consciousness students, and she came into class and she shared that she had received some news the night before that had, frankly, hurt her feelings and pissed her off. I'm not sure she said it that way, but that may be my lingual. And it was a continuation. Anybody have any repeating patterns in any of your relationships? Okay, so it was a continuation of a long history of slights by a particular group in her circle. And she was feeling emotional and she was feeling upset when she went to bed. However, being a good practitioner student, she did her spiritual work before going to sleep. And what she did was affirm that she would be able to release and let go of the resentment and the hurt. Not by spiritual bypass, which is just, I'm not going to look at it, I'm not going to think about it, therefore it doesn't exist. But she was treating for an actual release. And she came to class the next morning, just last Monday, she came to class the next morning absolutely bursting with excitement because it turned out that when she woke up in the morning, all of the hurt, all of the resentment, all of the anger was gone. She woke up joyful and happy. She experienced an actual healing, a dissolving of those things by grace. Are you getting? Is it landing? So my third example of grace is actually a personal story of mine that I haven't thought about for years. And this week I was having coffee with a friend who is well-versed in the 12-step programs. And we were having a lively conversation, and somehow I dredged this story up from my early sobriety days. It just kind of came up. Of course it did. And after I told him this story, I thought, well, that fits in with the topic of grace. I guess I found my finishing talk for Sunday. So when this story happened, I hadn't been sober very long. I'm long time sober now, so I'm having to really remember back. But I hadn't been sober for very long, maybe a couple of months, something like that. And I'd been going to meetings, and I was starting to kind of, sort of come out of the fog. You know what I mean? Kind of, so Vince, Vern, you know what I'm talking about. But one evening, I was feeling kind of out of sorts. I didn't have a meeting to go to, and I for sure didn't want to drink. So I was casting about for something to help me feel better. And I remembered people in meetings talking about the third step of Alcoholics Anonymous, which is made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood God. Now, I made that more gender neutral than the actual third step is. I did edit for us. Anyway, but this one, when I was hearing about the steps, I wasn't working steps yet, but I was hearing about the steps, and I liked this one because it was an awakening of spirituality that I hadn't felt in a really, really long time. But I also heard people talking about the third step prayer that is contained within the chapter of the third step and how impactful it was. And like I said, I was newly sober, so I didn't really understand what all that meant, but I was feeling unsettled enough to give it a try. So when you do the third step, it's recommended that when you're reciting it, that you actually get down on your knees. I was really resistant to that. It was a little too churchy for me. And the prayer itself is written in very King James biblical languaging, like with lots of these and thous and thys and that type of stuff. Again, resistant. But I thought, what the hell? It seems... What the helleth thou sayest? But, people talked about it. It was good, okay? So, man, I got down on my knees, and I opened the big book to the third step prayer, and I recited it. God, I offer myself to thee to build with me and do with me as thou wilt. Relieve me of the bondage of self, that I may better do thy will. Take away my difficulties, that victory over them may bear witness to those I would help of thy power, thy love, and thy way of life. May I do thy will always. Now, I realize this is not science of mind, but I didn't know science of mind back then, and I needed something. And when I was done, there was no choir of angels, there was no lightning bolts, but I felt more peaceful. And a few minutes later, the phone rang. And I answered it, and the woman on the other line said, "Mandy?" I said, "No, you've got the wrong number." And she said, this isn't Mandy? And no, it's not. But something in her voice sounded familiar to me. She sounded like one of the old-timer AA people from meetings that I went to. I took a breath and I hesitantly said, "Is this Ruth?" And she said, "Well, yes, it is. Who's this?" I said, "Ruth, it's Pat. I'm new to meetings, but I thought I recognized your voice." And she said, "Oh, my dear, how are you?" And I said, "I'm not doing so well. Can we talk a little bit?" I think what happened on the linear field is that she had her phone list. Back then, some of you remember there was a phone list with people's phone numbers on it, right? And she had her phone list, and she'd seen the name Pat and thought she was calling Pat, who is married to Mandy. But by the grace of God, she accidentally dialed me instead. Right after I had done the third step prayer. Annie Lamont says, "I do not at all understand the mystery of grace, only that it meets us where we are and does not leave us where it found us. Whew. It was emotional telling that story when I did at the coffee, and it was emotional telling it now. But what I didn't know, but what I understand a little bit better now, is that my willingness to try something new, get on my knees and say a prayer. Who'd have thought, right? But my willingness to try something new opened up channels of possibility so that grace could make itself known. So that brings us, believe it or not, full circle to everything we learned about the Money Mastery course. Because everything that I have taught you about this is us being willing to try something new in order to make something new welcome. We have to try things new, otherwise we keep repeating. So there is a good for me and I ought to have it. Believe that. Oh, holy hell no. When those limiting ideas come up, instead of making it happen, make it welcome. Look up. Be totally committed to the life you want to live with no attachment. The most important words we can know are as and is. God as me is love. God as me is faith. God as me is health. God as me is grace. God as me is whatever we want to manifest. Live in hope, in joyful anticipation. Tithe to where you are spiritually fed. It is a spiritual practice and it is a law. I don't mean like the police are going to come get you. I mean a law, as in the law of circulation. And finally, be open to grace. I love you, and so it is. Thank you. And guess what treat you have in store for you now? You have no idea. Or maybe you do. Please welcome, not Elevation, but please welcome Amy Bishop.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved and set me free. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that led my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace that led me safe thus thus far, and grace shall lead me home. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved and set me free. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see.
Woo! Amy Bishop. I know. Trying to perform after that.
She's upstage. She's upstaging.
Hmm?
She's upstaging that.
Yeah.
Take this for you.
Thanks, honey. Whew. Joni, could you hand me the clicker? Yeah, thanks, sweetie. Gracias. How do you feel? Oh, yeah, me too. I know. Holy smokes. So this is just a slide to show our online people and anybody else how you can support the center with your financial good. If it's time to top off for, this is tax deductible, right? So you can take it off your taxes. So if you need to top up, now's the time to do that. E-transfer website, check, call Lance, talk to him. He loves to talk to people about stuff like that. And I invite everybody to take their tithe, their gift, their offering, their donation. Hold it to your heart. Infuse it with positivity. Infuse it with love. Infuse it with grace. And let's say our conscious giving affirmation together. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I give returns to me multiplied abundantly. I am so blessed, and so it is. And so it is, and we're going to sing our gratitude song. So let's stand up. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful. Gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. fun?
A little bit.
Okay, I think they're ready to come in. I see them. Okay, wait, whoa, hold. Frankie, hold. What? Stop. Whoop, we gotta have music. Okay, now you got walking in music. Joining the reindeer game.
It glows. Woo! No kid left behind. Woo!
Never.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for bringing these wonderful children into our center. They are full of energy and excitement, and today we took time to talk a little bit about the Christmas season that's coming up. We talked about bravery with our book. Do you want to hold it up high, Calvin? Thank you.
Yeah,
And we
be
made
brave.
snowflakes for our Christmas trees.
Nice.
Can I put you down now? Frankie is feeling a little bit shy today. She really did not want to come in unless she was on my back.
I'm glad to see you.
Thank you.
And Frankie.
And Frankie. Can you take this back? Do you want to get off me yet? No. Okay.
Rachel,
Yes.
it's good to see you.
Thank you. Yes. So I have some very.
Here, why don't you
Frankie,
stand
come
here, Frankie?
Come
Here
down.
you go. One,
There
two,
you go.
three. There you go.
Thank you so much. Fun Day is very near and dear to my heart. I have had the honor of working in this program for just over 6 years now, and it is my greatest joy to be able to work with kids. And I'm very excited to say that I am going to be having a child of my own with my amazing partner, Connor, who was my volunteer today. And with that said, I do need support in Fun Day. I cannot continue to run the program on my own, especially as I get a little bit bigger, and I am due in about 6 months. So I would really appreciate if any of you would consider volunteering with our Fun Day program. If anybody that has taken foundations wants to consider teaching, it is a truly one of the greatest things I've ever had the pleasure of doing with my time, is getting to spend time with these kids and teaching them science of mind concepts. And I'm very excited to have a science of mind baby of my own.
Yay.
So thank you so much to my amazing community of support, and I am so excited to share the news with you guys. It was something that was hard to keep close to my chest, especially because it is our first baby in the family for both of us. So if you see my mom, Kat, please give her a very warm congratulations, as she is going to be a grandma. And the last thing that I'll say is that our soul shop is full of wonderful resources for kids. I know that my child will be blessed with all of those amazing books that we have available, and they make great Christmas presents for these little guys. And yeah, just thank you so much for being my spiritual support. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, baby. Thank you.
The kids have no idea what that means. Like, Miss Rachel's gonna have a baby, you can't jump on me.
Yes, I had that little thought myself. Hey, Rachel, I think that the names Patrick or Patricia are very nice names.
Top of my list, top of my list. Because doctor sounds really good in front of that, so.
Yeah, you know, I've been doing this for a lot of years and nobody has ever taken me up on that. So give a hand to Rachel and to our kids. And baby daddy, Connor and mama. That's so exciting. Really fun news. Okay, so let's stand up. We're going to do our closing. We did that. Which way am I going? There we go. So we're going to, this will be fun. Let's send our loving good energy to Miss Rachel and Connor. How, you come up here. Come on up. Oh, Connor's like, I can't believe not only do I have to wear the dad shirt, I have to actually get on the stage while everybody looks. Okay, so you guys ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Have a wonderful week. Thank you for being here.
Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. Mistletoe hung where you can see every couple tries to stop. Rocking around the Christmas tree, let the Christmas spirit ring. Later we'll have some pecan pie and we'll do some caroling. You will get a sentimental feeling when you hear voices singing, let's be jolly. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, rocking around the Christmas tree. Have a happy holiday. Everyone dancing merrily in the new old-fashioned way. Feeling when you hear voices singing, let's be jolly. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, rocking around the Christmas tree. Have a happy holiday. Everyone dancing merrily in the new old-fashioned way. Woo! Have a wonderful week, everybody.